Good morning, day 4, Friday, April 28th. Much better night of sleeping overall. I wasn't sleeping on the snow, but, oh, and the sun is just coming up over the ridge right now, which is awesome. Looks like it's gonna be a nice day, which is awesome. But yeah, I did have a little drama in the middle of the night. I had forgotten to repack my day food bag. So every day I have like a gallon Ziploc and everything I could potentially eat for that day as far as snacks go, like a Cliff Bar, trail mix usually, maybe a little bit of a Sour Patch, Swedish fish mixture, jerky, stuff like that. I put it all in a Ziploc bag and have it in my brain pack. Well, last night, just from whatever exhaustion or forgetfulness and not being in my routine 100% yet, I had left that Ziploc bag by the inside my tent near the lining. So fall asleep in the middle of the night. I start here, I wake up and there's a little rustling and a little mouse, a little bugger, chew through my tent. I'm so glad I didn't bring my new tent for this because I would really be upset. But chewed through the corner of my tent right where my food bag was and was making its way into the food bag when I finally realized what was happening. Got the headlamp on. And then I was up for like an hour because I patched up the hole in the tent and got the food stored properly. But yeah, I'd say off and on for the next, I didn't look at my watch or clock, but I say off and on for the next hour or two. He would come back every 10 or 15 minutes to see what's up with the food. So that was fun. And then it finally reached a point in the middle of the night where it was just so cold. I don't think he wasn't coming back and he didn't show up again, or she didn't show up again. So that was a little fun and excitement in the middle of the night, but I'll take a mouse over anything else coming for that food bag. My own fault for not having it put away properly. So lesson learned. There is a privy here, which is nice. Took advantage of that. Just getting everything packed up and we're gonna be heading out. And as soon as we start, we're gonna have wet feet anyway, but this water crossing at the campsite is not quite rock hoppable right now. So we're just gonna take a dunk in the water. I mean, I've already got wet socks on and wet trail runners on, but just the added insult to injury of having to plop through the brook over here. So that'll be fun. That's it for now, and we'll check in later. So we're about a mile or so on the trail from Eliza Brook Shelter. I just switched over to snowshoes. I was able to microspike it. Wasn't really post holing too much, but now it's just getting worse. But hey, we actually have a blaze here and there since we've been on the shelter, unlike the previous section where there was almost no blazes. So we're just gonna follow the brook and keep climbing. Whew. Day 4 update. Well, after continually switching traction devices, post holing, putting on snowshoes, using them for a quarter mile, and then rocks from the exposed sides, having to take them back off, putting on microspikes, all that good stuff. We made it back to Harriman Pond. It's just gorgeous up here. And now we got to go up that way. We'll see what the trail's like. I think there's been one set of boot prints in front of me. I think it's from that shelter entry from 5 or 6 days ago. So, up to the summit. Wish me luck. Hey, Friday, April 28th, Day 4 of our Direttissima. We finally made above tree line, headed towards South Kinsman, right in front of us. That was hard. From pretty much a mile in from Route 112 to here, the trail conditions were just really tough. There was one set of boot prints in front of me coming up here. I think they might have come in from Real Brook, stayed at the shelter, then came up here. There were no boot prints like going up Mount Wolf or down Mount Wolf. So a lot of trail navigation, finding the trail. It's a gorgeous day up here. That climb up the South Kinsman from the shelter is a beast on a normal day, but add in the deep, unconsolidated snow, changing from snowshoes, then changing to micro spikes, changing back again. It's tiring. So we're going to head on over to South Kinsman, maybe take a little break, and then figure how far we're going to go today. All right, so it's still Friday, April 28th, about 2 in the afternoon. And I just spent the past 20 minutes clearing off most of the snow and the ice of this tent platform at the Kinsman Ridge shelter. Yeah, there's a nice shelter here and it's huge, but I just don't want to deal with the mice. And you know, it's a nice day, so maybe some folks will be coming up to spend a night here so they can have the shelter, and I'll take this tent platform. And there's other tent platforms, but they're pretty iced over. This was the best one of the bunch. So yeah, Cannon Mountain, the next 4,000 footer, is about 3 miles from here. And honestly, when I got to the trailhead sign, I could have pushed on to put some more miles in, but my feet were telling me to stop. Just with wearing the snowshoes and the way, especially with the trail runners, how the bindings are like going over my feet in just a weird way. You know, my feet often don't give me any problems at all, so when I feel like there's a little bit of agitation, better to stop. And plus they're drenched, they're soaked, they're cold, all that stuff. So try and dry them out. Got a little bit of sun peeking through. It's just a gorgeous day once you get above tree line. So we'll get camp set up. It'll be a little wet, but everything inside the tent will be dry. So it's a little better than camping on snow, even though we're gonna have a little further to go tomorrow than if we had pushed on the trail, but that's all right. Definitely taking it a bit slower mileage-wise than last year's Direttissima. And I think part of that is just the spring snow conditions are a little more mushy this year. And I'm not gonna, this isn't a race, so I'm gonna enjoy my time here tonight, push on tomorrow. And also in the back of my head, there's still a big rain forecast for Sunday night into Monday morning. And that's potentially when I would be up on Franconia Ridge. So maybe hunkering down for a day or two over that a ways without really doing much hiking, just to let that rain pass, and wind and high winds, not just rain, high winds and a lot of rain. So that's where we are right now. I don't think I'm gonna have a cell signal here, but I'll recheck it. Otherwise, I'm gonna get set up and get those feet dry. Home sweet home for the night. time for a wrap up. We're settled in at about 3,700 feet at Kinsman Pond. Got the tent set up. Really, the past 2 days have been very tough just because of the trail conditions. So I'm kind of glad that section is behind me. It has not seen hardly any foot traffic, just that one person and a moose for most of it. So it didn't really help much with compacting the spring snow. Just really, really challenging conditions, but it was so nice having the sun out for almost all today. Just the way this tent site is situated, the sun will come and go every once in a while, but it's not like there's a lot of trees. It's very shady, so I'm sure that's good as it gets warmer, but so not really getting a ton of sun, but that's okay. Two more in the books, South Kinsman and North Kinsman. That's awesome. Tomorrow we're going to shoot for Cannon. It's going to be Saturday, so I'm sure we're going to see a good number of hikers. And then again, we'll have to see what the conditions are like, whether I go up, try to make it up to Liberty Springs tent site tomorrow, or just camp at lower elevation somewhere tomorrow and shoot up for Liberty Springs on Sunday. And then depending on what time it is and if the rain forecast changes, maybe at least try and tag Liberty and Flume before the rain comes in. And then have to sit around and wait, it looks like Monday morning, until the rain passes. So we'll see. Might just be, depending on how windy it is, might just be hiking in the rain Monday on the ridge. But that's a few days down the road, so we'll deal with that when we get to it. Actually, first time today I saw a couple of other hikers. I haven't seen any since I started this, so I didn't see any on Moosilauke, and obviously I didn't see anyone on the Kinsman Ridge Trail over Mount Wolf to the shelter and then here. But then right at the trail junction for the Kinsman Pond shelter, I saw one solo day hiker and then 2 other day hikers. So didn't really have any conversation, but it's nice to see a few folks out there when you haven't seen anyone in a while. I was also able to get cell phone service earlier and could, on South Kinsman, it was nice enough to hang out for a while. So I was able to text Sarah and touch base with her. So that was awesome. Get an updated weather forecast. And now we're just having a warm beverage. Going to have our first hot meal tonight, so that's exciting. It's going to be, we're starting things off with one of these spicy sausage bolognese, very fancy. So looking forward to a hot meal tonight. Still have a couple Mad River muffins to snack on, so that's good. And just rest up and get ready for tomorrow and see where the day takes us. I know I'm going at a little slower pace than I did last year when I did this, and I think a lot of that just has to do with the conditions and just having a little bit of extra weight. I would say for 80% of the time I'm carrying the snowshoes, but for the 20% of the time that I'm using them, I'm saving myself a lot of grief with post-holing. So I think it was the right call to bring them. When I use them, they really come in handy, but I'd say the majority of the time they're sitting on my backpack so far. We still have Kinsman Ridge Trail over the Cannonballs, if that's gotten any traffic or not. And then we have Franconia Ridge between Liberty and Little Haystack, which may not have seen a lot of traffic. And then Garfield Ridge Trail. So there still are many opportunities for them to come in handy. That's where we're at. another great day. It's a Friday night, and we're gonna party up here at Kinsman Pond. We'll see you in the morning.